A very good afternoon to you, Ms. Dasgupta, and welcome to my private tutor.
Good afternoon.
I shall begin with this interview. So, my first question to you is what are the various methods that you have adopted to make geography more interesting?
See, there is a difference, like if it is classroom teaching or if it is private tuition, there is a slight difference. So, since we are doing it for my private tutor, let me focus on the private tuition part. I take individual students, so I try to first of all understand what exactly is their need, and accordingly I try to teach them, help them. Now, the various methods I use in my classes, like always show them pictures, samples of rocks and various other things, models, diagrams. Then I keep looking for articles in newspapers about geographical events that is happening, environment related issues, and discuss it. Like, though my main responsibility is to complete the syllabus and prepare them for the exam, but I always try to go much beyond that. I teach English also, and I'm quite an avid reader myself, so I try to connect it with literature, and like places they visit. If I know, if they tell me, they discuss, they become very frank and very open, so they discuss. So I try to point out, okay, if you're going to this place, look out for this, look out for that. So that sort of things that generates interest, and they also find the subject interesting this way. So that's basically.
So,
Other than that, of course, the regular preparation of the textbook, explanation, and preparing them for that, question answers, further revision, whichever that's part of it. That has to be done. That is so. I was mainly focusing on the additional things.
going out of the textbook like actually makes the lesson more interesting.
Exactly.
Always sticking to textbook is so boring.
Yes, exactly. And like if there is a cyclone happening, cyclone Hudhud, and if that at that particular point of time they are not studying cyclone, that doesn't mean that we will not discuss it. Yeah. And they also have questions, because once you open up their mind, once you show them how to look at the landscape, how to look at the various things, because after all, geography is about nature, about the earth we are living in. So once you are able to get that into the children, they start exploring, then they come with many questions. So that day, maybe the entire session we will discuss only cyclone and how it is forming, how it is progressing. So, which will not be part of their syllabus for that day, but we can't leave out. We can't leave that out.
Sure.
There's no point saying that you will study cyclone in next year or next term. It doesn't happen that way.
Okay, so moving on to my next question, you spoke about fieldwork and practical application. So I would like to ask you, like, how have you incorporated this in your classroom?
Yeah, like showing them rock samples is one thing. Then other practical aspect is that in geography there are very abstract concepts like latitude, longitude. So I take a soft ball. Latitude's definition is angular distance from the center of the earth. So they always have the question, how do we reach the center of the earth, and what is angular distance? They understand if you measure distance, it's in kilometer. From here to here, okay, it will take 15 minutes to walk, or it is half a mile or something like that. What is angular distance? So actually, practically, then we cut up the ball, mark the things, the plane, angles, angular distance. So that is the practical aspect that I do. Diagrams, pictures, etc. Even textbooks, that's why they have diagrams. Little models, globe is used a lot. Actually showing them that why one side of the earth has daylight and the other side is in the darkness at the same time. How it is rotating and how it is gradually changing, how seasons happen. But field work, since as I said in the beginning, it's private tuition and I take individual students. I can't arrange field work for individual students. That's part of the school. So when they go for, and it's only in the 10th and 11, 12 when they have field work. So when they go for the field work, they discuss the place that they are going. So schools tell them, and I try to prepare them for it. I do my homework and then I try to help them with that. That these are the things to look out for. These are the questions you can ask. You can frame. These are the things to look out for. I don't personally take them out for field visits.
Okay. So if a student takes up geography in the higher education, so like what are the various job prospects that are there for a geography graduate?
Okay. See, geography is a subject which is there from primary to university level, KG to PG as they say nowadays. So, teaching is one of the options from school, college, universities at all levels. Then you have National Survey of India, National Atlas, National Atlas and Thematic. These are different organizations. Okay. Survey of India prepares the maps that we use. National Atlas and Thematic Mapping also have similar roles. Census employs geography students, geography graduates. NSSO, that is National Sample Survey. These are places where geography students get jobs. Then there are various research organizations like Center in Calcutta, like there's one in Hyderabad called CES, Center for Economic and Social Studies. They employ geographers who have completed their PhDs, because say Census or Survey of India you can join after completing your master degree or at that level. But to join a research organization, definitely you have to have a PhD. So these are different levels. Plus geography is a subject which is there for even for civil. So you can go for that. Do after graduation or after post graduation, if one is going for civils, this is one of the subjects. And in present day, when you have this Google Map and Wikimedia and these are interpretation of those, even in those organizations there is scope for geography students.
Okay, so that's like really motivating for students who will be listening to this, and maybe it will motivate them to take up geography.
There has to be one.
Because there are certain notions which are actually attached with this subject, especially art subject, if I take as a whole. So I hope this will be...
Yes, exactly. And then, see, doing geography at school level, like I said for your previous question, if you can open up their mind and if you can show them the various things that are happening. See, there are these various allied fields like geology, geography, oceanography. They have this very big concept about expedition, Himalayan expedition to Antarctica. Now, if you can bring that in and have some discussions with pictures, obviously I haven't gone to Antarctica. No, I'm not expecting to go, nor are the students. But at least they can think of those career options as well. This geography opens up that path. Because otherwise one hasn't heard of oceanography. At school level one hasn't heard of it. Geology one hasn't heard of it. So, like this morning I had a student and she was telling me, she said chemistry, she didn't know didn't know the name of the subject, but she was telling me that I want to dig up under the ground and search for things, and the way you are teaching geography, I'm more interested in that. What she meant is archaeology. Now, even for that, geography training helps, and it guides you in that direction.
So, what is your take on modern age teaching? And as you said, you explained through diagrams and other mediums. Do you think students actually learn faster if audio-visual medium or 3D figures are shown to them?
Yes, it helps a lot. Especially obviously most children, they come from a particular region. Let's say Calcutta. A child from Kolkata can never visualize what a glacier landscape is like, or what a desert landscape is like. Now, if you can show pictures are two-dimensional. One understands up to an extent. But if you have actual 3D videos or films, I tell them that if you see this particular movie, if I know about it, if you see this particular movie, watch out for these parts which shows, say, a crack in the glacier. Because in the diagram, it's just a line. And then suddenly they read in the newspaper or some other news medium that somebody has gone inside those crevices. They are called crevices. And how can it be? It's just a line. So, if they get the chance to see some of those movies with expeditions and things like that, there was a very good movie called Everest. It was 3D movie, and it really showed the entire glacial landscape in detail. Another thing I found, when I was, my longest teaching experience was in Hyderabad, where we used to live at that point of time. Now, children in central India, have never heard the concept of distributary, a river branching out. Here, children are very familiar with it. Shakha Nadi is something they heard in Bangla, in English, in other language. But in central India, they haven't heard. It's not in their everyday life. So for them, if they see a movie where they can see the rivers actually branching out and then there is land in between, the delta, etc., it helps a lot. Another, say, similar things like audiovisual medium. Nowadays, just as I said, cyclones. Whenever cyclones are forming, with the help of satellite pictures, the news channels give a good coverage. Even that is a teaching, teaching learning material. So I tell my students, go and watch it. They are showing it almost every hour, where exactly it is forming and in which direction it is moving, how it is moving, what exactly happens, what is meant by landfall. And then I supplement it with some, why is it going in this particular direction? That has to be understood with the global wind pattern, etc., etc. So that is supplemented in the class here. And then they watch, because I cannot have the news happening at the same time when the class is. Okay, so they get interested to watch. Children who were never watching these things, they get interested to watch, and then they come and next they say that, okay, it was saying that it will go this way, but it is actually moving this way. What exactly is happening? Why is it happening? These are things. So even that is a very good teaching learning material. So audiovisual helps a lot, and it can enhance the understanding. And especially, as you said, these art subjects, if it is visually depicted, it would be very good. It would be very, very beneficial. If not, I try to make PowerPoint presentations of my own, explaining like rivers, etc., different stages of it and how it is changing. So, yes, it is very useful.
Moving on to my next question. So you've been in this profession for a long time now, for over 2 decades, and you have a lot of experience in teaching schools also. So if you can share a few success stories.
Yeah, as I said, I started teaching in 93. So 1993, so it's 22 decades. So I have taught children from various socioeconomic background. I've worked for with an NGO school where we used to teach absolutely first generation children, not just first generation children, but these children who were dropped out of regular academics. So from the slums nearby. Under my guidance, the first batch of students, they were already working in that area for quite some time. By the time I joined, it was there for 5 years already. But under my guidance, the first batch enrolled for Madhyamik 10 class 10 board exam, and they are the ones who succeeded in taking the exams. At the other end, I have taught children from a totally different socioeconomic background, and those children are they are no longer children. I mean, they are adults and they are in all kinds of professions, starting from Bollywood film actress to national level players in certain games, and executives, engineers, dancers. They're all over the place, and it's hard to take their names and their consent, who are in this kind of public limelight. But I'll just tell you that last year I had 2 students who came through your enterprise with your MyPrivateTutor.com. They are from nearby place. These 2 girls are also first generation learners. They are in a home. So the person who was running the home contacted me because she got the number from your website. And those 2 girls, they were in an ICSE school, English medium school. Very lively girls. They did very well at the end of it, and in geography they've got wonderful marks. Both of them got above 70% marks in geography, which is quite an achievement for them.
Now, being a first generation learner and
Yes.
achieving 70% marks
Yes,
is
yes. It is
really
very-
commendable.
Yes. And there were like little things one has to try. Okay, if you get the highest marks in the test, we'll do this. So one of the girls, she tried very hard, and in the test exam she came and told me she got highest in the test exam in her class, in the school, which is quite commendable. So they were very happy. They came with their little pocket money. They came on the day the results were declared with sweets. রসগোল্লা এখানে রসগোল্লা নিয়ে দেখা করতে এসেছিল very sweet so
These are the gifts which a teacher deserves. And
exactly
so, like, my last question to you is if you can share your experience with My Private Tutor so far.
MyPrivateTutor.com is quite a good enterprise, and it's a platform which brings teachers, helps the tutors to contact students, students to contact tutors. So the way it is set up, it's a very good enterprise. And there was a student whose father contacted me 2 weeks before, 10 days before the board exam started, and he's like, my son needs some help in geography in this part. And he came, I remember it was on a Sunday, it was a very rainy Sunday in the month of February, and horribly cold, and on top of that throughout the day there was rain. But he came around 2 o'clock and he was here till 6 or 7, clarifying all the doubts he has, various chapters, and basically clarifying some of the very basic misconceptions he had. He wouldn't have got my number. I mean, he was desperate that day, that point of time. So in such cases also, your website really gives them an opportunity to look for somebody, who can provide them this opportunity. There was another who came to me from Haldia. Same way, like he wanted few contact classes whenever they are coming to Kolkata, either to visit a relative or like say Durga Puja, the mother said, we'll come 2 days early. He'll go to you for 2 days. Because he needed specific inputs. So it is not always easy to find this kind of things if you just ask in the neighborhood or ask among your friends or family. So that way I would say My Private Tutor, this kind of website, this kind of enterprise is really helpful, where people can just go for it, look up, call the person and see if it works for them. For them, they had no problem whenever they came to Kolkata, they somewhere this, I don't know where they were staying. But they said, yeah, we know your area, we have no problem. So he will go to you. He came 2 days before Durga Puja, 2 days before Diwali, that kind of thing. 2 days around Christmas time. Yeah, we will be going to Kolkata, so I'll send him to you for 1 day, 2 days, like that. So for this kind of thing, it's a very good way. And I noticed it also helps people who are new in a city, don't know anybody, don't know how to find a tutor. It helps a lot. It really helps a lot. So it's a very good thing. Keep going.
It's always lovely to hear such feedback from our clients and our members. And it was lovely talking to you. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.